At Manhattan University, a graduate degree is not out of reach. You'll gain real-world skills, credentials employers value, and connections to New York City's top companies. Choose from their new Master of Science degrees in Healthcare Informatics, Digital Marketing and Analytics, Business Analytics, or Financial Analytics, all built around hands-on learning and industry partnerships. Graduate ready to lead, not just work. Take the next step at manhattan.edu/graduate. Manhattan University. Lead the future.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And we are back here on Katz and Cosby. And joining us now to talk about what's going on from the Israel perspective is the former ambassador to New York. He was a former consul general in New York for some time, esteemed Israeli diplomat, Ido Aharoni. Ambassador Aharoni, thank you for joining us, and just give us an update on where you think things stand, because President Trump just came out a little bit ago. He says that he, obviously the U.S. military and the Israeli military, the best in the world, that the two of them working together, that they are way ahead of schedule on Iran.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I think the president meant that in the big picture, when you consider the big picture, the major achievements were the destruction of the infrastructure and the decapitation of the leadership. I think he even mentioned the fact that the newly appointed leader is also endangered for his life. As far as Israel is concerned, we have a problem to deal with Hezbollah from the north. Hezbollah attacked today, unfortunately, with some success, civilian targets in the center of Israel. There's the question of the Houthis. It remains to be seen if the Houthis will be joining in. So these are two problems that are uniquely Israeli problems. But I think that together what you see is two armies working in harmony to strip the Iranians of their military capabilities, just as General King described.
You know, Ambassador Aharoni, you just talked about Hezbollah. One of the things was interesting was that Trump is sort of hinted that he's had some conversations with the president of Lebanon. Of course, Hezbollah is there in Beirut, but it sounds like maybe he can try to get the country of Lebanon to put some pressure on Hezbollah. They're obviously two different entities.
Absolutely. Hezbollah is actually an anti-state element within Lebanon. One of the reasons Lebanon is unable to prosper, unable to grow, unable to be a stable country is because of the fact that Hezbollah has been extremely active destabilizing Lebanon and the region since 1982. And in 1983, as you well know, they were responsible for the bombing of the Marines barracks, killing 283 American soldiers.
Mr. Ambassador, number one, is Lebanon ever going to get their country back?
Well, technically they have their country back. The problem is that Lebanese army, the national army, is not strong enough to defeat Hezbollah. And one of the reasons it was impossible for them to defeat Hezbollah is because Iran kept on providing them with money, with technical assistance, and with weapons. And they did it through Syria. Now, two major things happened. The first is the collapse of the Assad regime in Syria, and the person who's now in control in Syria is not a friend of Hezbollah, to say the least. And the second thing that happened is that Israel significantly impaired the military capabilities of Hezbollah. So we are in a better position than we were 2.5 years ago. Nevertheless, Hezbollah still presents a military challenge for Israel and would consume some of our energy and our resources that should have gone to the fight against Iran. But that's the reality in the Middle East. And again, it remains to be seen whether the Houthis will be joining in. It will make the things even more complicated as far as Israel is concerned.
Mr. Ambassador, President Trump wants the Strait of Hormuz to open and get oil through. But nobody's telling the people, I don't think the Strait of Hormuz has been open for a year or two already. I mean, the only people, why, CNN challenged me and I challenged them back, on Saturday. And nobody's telling you, the American people, the truth. The Strait of Hormuz is closed except if you have a Russian or something else that they paid off the Iranians, it's not going through.
Well, I think that the general that you had just before me mentioned the fact that the United States was able to destroy much of the Iranian naval capacity, and I think that that's a key. And definitely, it's in the interest of the international community to keep the straits open, and that this certainly one of the achievable goals of this war.
Oil this morning went to 119 for a few minutes. Then it closed something like 83, 84. So what's going to happen? What do you think? You're the most educated guy. You're there.
So I think that the two preconditions in order for this regime to be over. The first is there has to be a popular uprising. We're not seeing this yet. And the second is that we have to see cracks within the ranks of the leadership. We're beginning to see the disbanding of some of the controlling groups in the regime, but it's not enough. The only thing that we can do now is to keep on applying pressure, military pressure, by destroying their entire military complex. And if this is not going to be enough, then we should go after their civic infrastructure as well.
Judge
and I
Weinberg.
believe that would be the next phase in the war in days to come.
Mr. Ambassador, it's a pleasure to have you on. Let me ask you this question. The Hezbollah situation was supposed to be based on a ceasefire, and the condition for the ceasefire was they were supposed to disarm, demilitarize, and everybody knew that they weren't doing that because it's totally contrary to their ideology and their militancy. So how are you going to deal with that from the perspective of Israel?
What guides them is self-preservation, obviously, just like the Iranian regime, just like the Basij, just like the Revolutionary Guard. It's self-preservation. They believe it or not, at the end of the day, they want to live and they want to have a good life. And same thing goes for Hezbollah. Hezbollah will not disarm because they know once they do that, they will be butchered by the rest of the Lebanese people that are very angry at them for disrupting their lives, for destroying their nation, for killing their future. That's the worst thing that they did for Lebanon. They killed Lebanon's future. And so the reason why they will hold on until the bitter end is because they want to, they know that the alternative is elimination. And that's what you're seeing. That's
now,
what you're seeing.
Israel has been hitting Beirut. Are we making progress?
Yes. So Israel is doing several things. In Beirut, especially in one neighborhood of Beirut called Dahya, that's the concentration of Hamas leaders, Hamas commanders, Hamas operatives, Hezbollah administrators. Then in southern Lebanon, Israel is mobilizing ground troops to create a physical buffer between the forces of Hezbollah and the Israeli northern region. And, of course, we are involving right now some artillery. It's not just Air Force, some artillery. And I believe that if necessary, you will see some infantry conducting ground operations.
Well, please keep us posted. We are praying for Israel, praying for peace, and bravo to the great skill, I'm telling you, of Netanyahu and President Trump. I mean, this moment in history is extraordinary.
Our show is we're getting the truth out to the American people because nobody's talking about this the way we're talking about it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Absolutely. Ambassador, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.